Happy Orvo. Hello. Thank you so much for joining me today. How you doing? So, last week I reacted to this video. Look at this. This is like Inception. I've never done this before. Whoa. But, and there was this one part that really surprised me. And it was when the cop pulled out a breathalyzer out of nowhere at the beginning of the stop.
Okay.
So just a deep breath and blow in here for me.
This is actually pretty interesting. They don't go straight to a breathalyzer. In fact, they can't. They can't go straight to a breathalyzer here in America. You have to have some kind of reasonable suspicion. Wow, you know what? He's right. This guy's right. You can't do that here in America. In fact, usually they'll start off with a field sobriety test. Even if you smell of alcohol and they have every reason to believe, some suspicion to believe that you have been drinking and stuff. You're driving wobbly, you smell like alcohol. They'll do a field sobriety test before giving you a breathalyzer just to build the case for their probable cause as to why they gave you a breathalyzer. You know what I mean? It's pretty stringent. You can't just go up randomly breathalyzing people here in America. So it was pretty surprising to see a cop in Australia just whip it out. Hey, I pulled you over for speeding. I'm just going to breathalyze you out of nowhere. Kind of fascinating. And I stumbled across this video, Random Breath Testing, RBT, introduction in 1982. And it says, when random breath testing was introduced in 1982, the public had to be convinced that this, quote, invasion of your privacy was in everyone's interest. This television commercial was about winning the public opinion more than scaring drivers. So that's pretty fascinating. So we've got a commercial by the government about when they first implemented this, RBT. And I'm certainly interested to watch that and read some of the comments below. Because it's interesting, and I get a feel, he says, quote, invasion of your privacy, obviously implying it's not an invasion of your privacy. And I'm just curious to see and hear where you all stand on it. Let's see what they put together to say, hey, this is all good. And I'm not even saying it's not. It kind of makes sense, It's not, well, I'll talk about it more after I watch this. Classic TV ads. I guess I'll say, this is on Classic TV Ads, the YouTube channel. Oh, wow. This is already iconic.
Please accept our apology for the inconvenience we are gonna have.
I did not expect a song.
To cause you.
But there's just no alternative.
Hey, just don't be creepy about it like that.
We're gonna let thousands more live.
So, on their behalf, we're saying thank you.
Do it for the kids.
How will you go when you sit for the test? How will you go when you sit for the test?
I've never seen an old breathalyzer like that. That's funny. You blow it into a bag.
How will you go when you sit for the test? Will you be under 05 or under arrest?
05. Wow. Over here in Indiana, at least, it's 08, which is honestly really high. It should probably be 05.
How will you go when you sit for the test? Will you be under 05 or under arrest? How will you go
That's a banger.
when you sit for the test? Will you be under 05 or under arrest? How will you go when you sit?
Okay, you know what? I like that. I see what they did there. They showed a little kid in the back seat, saying, hey, what's more important? Your little bit of privacy or keeping kids safe on the road? And I do think it's an interesting question, and I think a breathalyzer in particular is one of those things about, I think, because I'm pretty wary of what, types of privacy invasions and stuff you should give the government at any one time. But a breathalyzer seems pretty reasonable. It's like, that's not like searching your car, you know, or searching your person. They're not touching you, and it's a pretty simple, straightforward test. It's not really revealing anything else about you other than have you been drinking or not, which is pretty important when you're operating a car. So I could definitely be convinced that this makes a lot of sense. It's just, it is interesting. As kids, we used to sing loudly on our bikes. Are you under 05 or pissed like their ass? Whenever we rode past a daytime RBT in our small country town. Haha, the cheerfulness in singing or under arrest is pretty funny. Yeah. This hit's different. And the commercial was the reason for a certain world-famous show about police pulling over cars and under arrest. How will you go when you sit for the test? In the meantime, it's now 05 or fine/arrest. I wonder what he means by that. Has the law changed a little bit to where you're not necessarily under arrest for drinking and driving? You might just get a fine. When my dad was a cop during that time, okay, something interesting. They didn't arrest people who were like 2 or 5% over the limit. Obviously, he means like 2 or 5 basis points over the limit. They focused on people who were actually pissed. I love how you guys call it pissed. Pissed. Or nearly pissed, not drivers who were... That just means mad, angry here in America. But I like that. They're pissed drunk. Not drivers who were like sober, the same as someone who is under the limit. Nowadays, it's all about revenue. Okay. Okay, but if you're over 0.05, honestly, you're pretty drunk. And you should probably not be driving. Oh, that's the exact same comment as up there. That's weird. It's just an interesting subject to me. That was pretty fascinating. Random. I think there would be a little bit of an uproar here in America if they tried to introduce this, but hey, maybe if they came out with the jingle, that might help. Interesting subject. Random breath testing. Now they do actually have, you know, I say all that, but then the flip side of it is they actually do have random DUI testing here in America, but they have to be like labeled. It's kind of weird because it is questionably constitutional. You know, like this is one of the things people are always like privacy rights groups and civil liberties groups are always, you know, arguing over whether these random tests, it has to be like at a specific spot on the road. It has to be marked that it's coming up, and you're allowed to like turn around and not go to it, which makes it seem kind of pointless, but yeah. They're called DUI checkpoints. I've never actually been through one. But that's that is different than a cop pulling you over for something and then randomly DUI testing you. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. Part of me feels like if you're being pulled over and they have reasonable suspicion that you've committed some other like driving infraction, then at that point, I feel like breathalyzing you is not. It seems kind of reasonable. Because drunk driving is very bad. You know what I mean? If you heard it here first, folks, drunk driving, very bad. Gets people killed. Okay, well, I managed to talk for 10 minutes about a video that was 1 minute long. So that's an accomplishment. Very interesting subject, though, to me. I hope you guys are doing good. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.